AP News. I'm Ed Donahue. President Biden will speak on the first night of the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. The AP's Sagar Magani has the story.
In less than a month,
the Democratic Party has gone from despair to hope.
With Brookings Institution fellow William Galston saying the party's been transformed since Kamala Harris replaced President Biden atop the ticket. George Washington University's Todd Belt notes there is a lot of enthusiasm.
Mainly that's because Joe Biden is off the ticket and people were worried he would not win.
The trick now is for Harris to keep up the enthusiasm. First, Belt says she has to introduce herself, saying people don't really know her well.
And this is going to be an opportunity for the Democrats to really define her.
Harris will speak Thursday night. The president will appear tonight for a final turn in the spotlight after a decades-long career. Aides say he'll give Harris a lengthy endorsement before immediately leaving for California, ceding the attention to his handpicked successor. Sagar Magani, Washington.
Former President Donald Trump will be campaigning all week as the Democrats' convention goes on. He was in York, Pennsylvania.
Right now, the American dream is dead. We're going to bring back the American dream.
Thousands of activists calling for a ceasefire in Gaza are marching toward the site of the convention in Chicago. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says Israel accepted a proposal to bridge differences, holding up a ceasefire and hostage release. Blinken says Hamas needs to be on board.
We'll never give up on it, but the challenge is the longer this goes on, the more, again, hostages will suffer and possibly perish, and the more other things happen that could make things impossible.
Ousted New York Congressman George Santos pleaded guilty to wire fraud and aggravated identity theft, avoiding a trial. Stocks finished the day higher. This is AP News. British tech magnate Mike Lynch and several others are missing after a super yacht sank during a freak storm off Sicily.
The super yacht, known as the Bayesian, had a crew of 10 people and 12 passengers. So far, over a dozen people have been rescued and one body has been found. British tech magnate Mike Lynch, who was acquitted in June in a big US fraud trial, was among those who remain unaccounted for after their chartered sailboat capsized off Porticello near Palermo. The ship sank when a tornado over the water, known as a waterspout, struck the area overnight. Fisherman Francesco Cefalu said he saw a flare about 2,000 feet from the coast. We raised the alarm to the port's Coast Guard and about 3 hours later we returned. We think the missing people are inside. Police divers were trying to reach the hull of the ship 163 feet underwater, where those unaccounted for were believed to be. I'm Karen Chamas.
And I'm Ed Donahue, AP News.
Good morning, Marianas. So many things we gotta discuss. Half a day, Tirawami and greetings. To Rhoda, Guam, Saipan, and Tinian. For all your island news. From a beautiful place with Pacific views. It's always so much fun on Good morning, Marianas.
Good morning, Marianas. It is Tuesday. Yeah, I know it's Taco Tuesday for sure, but today's the first day of school for PSS. How about that? There are people out there on the streets. There are parents out there in cars. There are the cheese wagons. That's right, the buses, the old cheese wagon. They are out there all over the place, picking up kids, getting ready to drop them off for their first day of school. Some kids super excited about it. Their parents are definitely super excited about it. But they're out there wearing their nice clothes on their first day, taking their first day pictures, getting all ready for the first day of school. Good luck, students and teachers and parents, bus drivers, administrators, you name it. It's a big day. Everybody involved with PSS, I know what it's like. Trust me. My wife is a PSS teacher for about 9 years before she moved over to the private side. She's back with PSS again as a speech language pathologist. But I know what that is like, seeing her get ready for the school year. All those hours and days way ahead. You know, all that summer vacation stuff. It's not like you do it in a week. They prepare almost all summer. They give themselves a couple of weeks, and then they're preparing for the new school year, getting as literally like cleaning their own classrooms, painting their classrooms, buying supplies for students that don't have them. The PSS teachers, I'm telling you, it's like they're packing for a trip to go to climb Mount Everest, and they have to do it every year. And they're out there getting ready for it today. They're in their classrooms already, excited, waiting to see the crop of students that they got this year. New faces, new subjects, new classes, new books, new pencils, you name it. The smell of new paper, you name it. Yes, they still use paper. I don't know for how long, but they still use it. And the sounds of screams and laughter and in the schoolyards and on campus, and just the conversations of kids in the hallway. No idea what the world has in store for them. Today is their first day of school, and this is where they put those building blocks together so that when they get out there and join the race with all of us, that they are as best prepared as possible and hopefully do a lot better than we did and do great stuff for everybody. It's an exciting day. It's an exciting day for everyone. Not so much for the drivers. The drivers don't have as much fun when school starts again, and that's fair. It's fair. But I'll tell you, I can't tell you the excitement around the first day of school. And then I don't think it ever really lets off. I mean, people just get used to it, but all that work, all that momentum that brings you to the start line on a day like today, and then it just starts happening. And, there is enthusiasm. I know there's some rotten apples in the bunch. That happens all the time. Don't worry about that. These kids are going to give their best in this school year. I mean, especially like the kids in elementary school. Like, these kids are undeniable. Their enthusiasm, their energy, their joy that they're bringing to the campus. It's got to be refreshing. It's got to be great to be a teacher. I'll tell you what, after you become an empty nester, I can't imagine anything better than being an elementary school teacher, where you just get this. It's like you got your kids stay the same age. They just change faces, but your kids stay the same age all year long. Yes, of course, your real kids grow up and you get to see them and all that stuff, but just being able to feel that joy and keep that going and get them ready for the next stage of their lives, it's got to be fantastic. I can't imagine old people not wanting to be elementary school teachers. Oh, I know. There's probably some things, but I think that's it. And I say old people. You don't have to be that old. I'm not that old yet. But I'm telling you, I could see that finish line coming to when my kids go off to college. And I say finish line, it's actually a sad line, thinking about oh my God, what am I going to do after they move away? But if you are a teacher, you get that every year. Your kids are always there. They always come back. The only difference is those are the kids who aren't there for the holidays. So you can supplement it with your real kids again. See, it all works out. Well, be careful if you're out there on the road, because it is not going to be a safe day on the road. If you're out there driving around like a maniac and trying to get to where you want to go super fast, because that's not what this day is all about. We got some heads up from Department of Public Safety showing us that this is what they expect to be one of the busiest routes while they continue with the road work going on today. This is Beach Road going north and then taking that turn. Now, I was here last night pretty late watching the baseball game, and I saw them working late. Hey, they were still working when I was leaving the baseball game after 10 o'clock last night. So they are doing their best to get that stuff done. And that is the way that is going to be a slow way until they do. But there are alternatives, and that is what DPS wants you to do. Instead of lining up like a sheep in line, go ahead and go through the village of Olei. Do it smart, do it safe. Glenn reminded us yesterday, hey, it's a neighborhood. Go slow, be smart, be safe. There's kids out there walking the bus stops and all that stuff. So be good about it. It's not too bad. I'm telling you, it's a good deal. DPS giving you my secret weapon of how I get to work and how I get in and out of here quicker. Because I don't like getting stuck in all that traffic. Now, when the roads are open, normally, before all this construction nightmare, this progress in action, there's a positive way to call it, I should just take the main road. But now I got to use those little roads. And they've got like makeshift speed bumps through the village to make sure that people don't go fast. Can you fly through them? Yeah, you could. You're going to be that guy? You don't want to be that guy. Know where you're going is that important. Really? You'd be late for work? I think your boss will understand. Not going to understand if you run somebody over. You're going to have a lot more to answer for. So I say, drive safe, drive smart. Leave early. Like Ann said, don't be late, Brad. I heard you. Hey, it's easy when nobody's watching. But when we get lots of people watching now, I got to pay attention. I got to be here on time. I got to get stuff going. Speaking of getting stuff going, we got some more folks who are supporting our show. That's right. We're going to be introducing our new partnerships in the next couple of days. But give you a hint, want to say thanks and welcome to the family, to PHI Pharmacy, new supporters of the morning show and the NMI News Service in general. But the PHI Pharmacy, welcome to the team. That's right. NMI News Service loves you. Good Morning Marianas loves you. And now you need to start giving them a slew of business. I know they're probably killing it already, but show them the Good Morning Marianas love and go over there and check them out. They've got all kinds of specials right now. In fact, I asked them for 3 of the specials that they're promoting right now. And they've got some good stuff that we're going to show you throughout the day. But one of them I got to try yesterday. It's one of those protein drinks, one of those protein shakes. And it's called MRE, like the military MRE. I know. It is. And it's delicious. I was like, this one was chocolate. It was great. And that's on sale. They're $3 over there at PHI. And they've got great locations all over the place. They're in Dan, Cagman. They're in Garapan, Dan, and Cagman. I'll get those down. Antinian. They also have these massagers, handheld massagers, portable handheld massagers for $15.75. And they have a product I didn't even know about. I had no clue. Go figure. Maybe I need to learn about this stuff. But they have, birth control pills, but they have them over the counter now. You don't even need a prescription. You can go there, walk in, and get it. So they've got a 1-month supply for $35.77, and they've got a 3-month supply for $89.48. That's the best deal. Oh, that's what I said. I didn't know. So Josh Wise, Dr. Josh Wise, gave us a little bit of an introduction on how that stuff works and why this is a good one versus the other ones. And they all have their pros and cons and all that stuff. But for this one, again, 3-month supply for less than $90. That's the best way to go. That's the best deal. Anyway, he's going to come in, not today, and tell us a little bit more about these products when they have the specials and all that other stuff. But that's pretty great. Man, great to see you guys from all over the place. Thanks for tuning in. Great to see you guys. Well, we're going to hear more about that. Also want to welcome Paradise Dental Spa to the Good Morning Marianas family. Welcome. Donna and Nelson Crum jumping in. We've got a couple of promos that we're going to be doing that are going to start in the next couple of months that are going to be really big, and want you guys to learn about it. I'll tell you, I don't know how much you're paying for your dental insurance, but it might be too much. This sounds like a banging deal. They're going to come in and tell us all about it. But if you're a government employee, you could be paying $4 per paycheck for your dental plan. Yeah. I can tell you we're under my wife's government plan. And we pay about $100, I think, a month for the dental part. Their plan's $4 a paycheck. $4. I have plenty of information on it, and we're going to talk about it for sure on the show. But specifically, if you are a government employee, you could be paying just $4 per paycheck for your dental insurance plan with Paradise Dental Spa on Middle Road in Gualarai. Holy cow, $4 per paycheck. What a game changer. As we're sitting here looking, everybody's talking about the economy, inflation, all the costs going up, and try to make the best use of your money. We're looking at it. I'll tell you that. We're looking at it in all the smart ways, trying to be more efficient with our expenditures, going through and say, hey, what subscription services are we paying for that we don't need? All right, well, I guess we'll do this one instead of that one. Like we're doing, we'll do Amazon instead of Netflix or something like that, or get this one instead of that, whatever it happens to be. But $100 versus $4 a paycheck for dental insurance? Oh my gosh. Give them a call at Paradise Dental Spa and tell them that you heard about it from us. That's the big one. At least call them. And ask them about it. It's a smoking deal. And man, they were in here. They weren't talking about all of the particulars about it, but we're going to be going through and telling you an awful lot about it really soon. Yeah, and we'll get you all the info about the copays and all that other stuff because they're going to come in here. Here's a great thing. We actually have their video that they had done about how the whole promo works. And we're going to freshen it up for them a little bit and get it for you. But they said that not just that $4, but they said their entire whole package stuff with their dental plan is the best price in Saipan. And you're not sacrificing quality for that price either. And I know when you're dealing with good people, you can kind of rely on that stuff. People are like, oh, trust me. I know. That's usually like red flags, right? But when you're dealing with good folks, straight shooters, people who've been in the community for a long time, you can rely on some of this stuff. And I can't wait to tell you more about it. I can't speak like an expert on it. I can talk a lot, though, and I intend to today and every other day. But I want to have them come in and tell you more about it. We're going to show you that video that they have, not today, but when we freshen it up with them. And then we're going to give you all the promos. And you're going to know from the conversations we had, you're absolutely going to know when this thing kicks off. It's going to be awesome. By the way, I'm doing something with them tomorrow. And it's one of the reasons it sparked my interest in doing this again, doing this show and everything. I went with them for, here, let me see if I could pull up the email that she actually sent me about it. Excuse me. That's just to get your attention, apparently. So it's a personality style class that they did. And I absolutely loved it. I did this last year. They opened it up to the board members for the Chamber of Commerce. And it's a really good tool. It's a video put out by this lady who does this thing. It's talking about like how you talk to different people and based on their personality styles. And she uses them like precious gems, right? And that's how she describes the people. Some people are emerald, some people are sapphires, some people are rubies, and some people are pearls. And each one of those has their own characteristics and the way that you would deal with them. And it was really outstanding. And I really loved it. I loved hearing about it this way. You know those personality tests, those Myers-Briggs tests and all that stuff where it's like, oh, I'm an ENTJ or whatever it is. This is different. But it's under those things. And she talks about how you communicate effectively to people that have the other personality traits, because like this person might be more data driven. This person might be more excitement driven. This person might be, in terms of like their personality styles, and that's it. And while I was in there, they also talk about a whole bunch of other like professional things and what inspires people to do different things. And people with certain characteristics and personality traits tend to do this or tend to do that. And when I was in that class last year, And I say class, what it really was more like a great session of being there with everybody. And it was a packed house. I was sitting there thinking, what the hell am I doing with my life? Why am I not doing what I really want to do? And that was it. And that was the genesis of leaving my great job with a great company to do this, because I'm like, this is what I should be doing. I should be doing this stuff that I really want to do and figuring out how to make it work. And instead of being worried about like how it looks and how you sound and how you, where you are in the community, or is that stable? Is that safe? Is that a responsible decision? No, you're going to hate it if you're not giving yourself the opportunity to do what you really want to do in life. And I felt like going up to Donna afterwards saying, help me, whatever, just show me the way, almost. I'm like, no, but I'm like, I didn't ask to meet up with them and talk about, well, how do you chase this dream then? And I didn't get that full conversation, but I did get some coffee with Nelson and talk with him a little bit. It was more of a meet and greet more than anything. But that class and watching those videos and having those conversations with those folks, which was really just about personality styles and how to be a more effective communicator to people that have different styles of listening, or how you actually reach folks in different ways. That was it. That's where it told me, you need to go do something, man. You need to. You're spinning your wheels. You're wasting your life if you're not doing the stuff you really want to do. Holy crap. I'm telling you, like, I thought about it that day. What am I doing? Why am I going back to my job? Why am I not doing what I should be doing right now? My purpose in life is not doing that. I got to do this. And so here I am. One truck lighter, one van heavier, and one hell of a community to hang out with you guys every day. Whether it's news, sports, weather, you name it, we talk about it every morning, and then we do it all day. And today's another one of those all days. Yesterday was an all day. Got started early, got done with the playoff game last night after 10. Not a complaint. That's just what we do. Today we're going to have more of the same. We started early. We got soccer at noon today. I'll tell you about that. And then tonight we got baseball again. Saipan Baseball League playoffs again. Padres and Blue Jays. Going to be a great one. This is the second game of the playoffs. There's only 3 rounds, and there's only 3 games in the first round, and this is game 2. Last night, the Cardinals beat the Braves, and it was a great game last night. It was 3-3. The Cardinals only scored 3 runs in the bottom of the first inning and didn't score at all the rest of the way until the bottom of the 8th, when they just went off. Scored 5 runs. Yow. 5 runs in the bottom of the 8th. And there was no coming back from that. Great pitching by Nate Guerrero on the mound for the Cardinals. Complete game win. Really outstanding for him. I know, Millie, you don't love all the baseball, but I'm telling you, this kid's worth talking about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strikeouts in 9 innings of work. How many times did he walk batters? 1, 2, 3. He walked 4 batters. He got drunk from the pitching count. Yeah, there was some breath holding last night. But it was a great game. And we almost didn't get to play it because the power went out before the game. Which would have been fine for like the first part of the first inning, because it was a long first inning. But power came on around 5:20, so we were able to let the game continue. So for the first time, rain wasn't the issue. It was going to be CUC, and hopefully CUC got that figured out. We're hoping that they tell us more about what happened, because that was not a regular power outage yesterday. It was a manual trip. And now I know that everybody in Saipan isn't an expert when it comes to power, but we are experts in having our power go off suddenly. And that happened yesterday. And so normally when you call and you finally get through, you hear that it was a auto trip somewhere, right? And that means somewhere in the system, from where it's generated to where it's transmitted and distributed, somewhere along the line, on one of those lines, there's a problem. So they'll tell you like what feeder it's on. So the power comes out of CUC's power plant and goes off in all different directions. And each one of those directions is what they call a feeder. Well, for this one, it was the one specifically powering feeder 4 and Kiza 4. So you might not know all your feeders, and that's fine. But they said it was a manual trip. That's one you don't hear often. They had to shut it down at the power plant. So something happened at the power plant yesterday that required them to shut it down. So I would love to know more about what happened. And I'll tell you what, it's a fascinating operation down there at CUC. If you haven't gone down to see the inside of the production plant, the power production plant, it's incredible. Massive machines, massive. And it's just so cool to see things that big in operation. I mean, we've all seen generators at like the smallest ones at the house. Some people have bigger ones at the house. Some people, you've seen the big ones at the offices, work sites, some of the ones at the wells, where they build that little concrete building around them and all that stuff. These things are massive, massive. Like each one of them is a couple stories high. Yeah, they're almost 3 stories tall, these engines. These generators are just immense. And they go back pretty deep. Like you think all the cylinder heads for all their pistons and all that. I mean, it just burns diesel. I mean, it's just like a regular engine, just on such a huge scale. It's worth seeing. Hey, good morning, JJ. Good to see you. Yeah, getting ready for work earlier to beat the buses. Good idea. I bet they're out there now. I hope you're there. You're going to have to deal with them. They're out and about. And this is the area over here. DPS is asking people, by the way, if you live in Aslito and Dandan, to use Chelo Monsignor Martinez to make your way north, for sure. By the way, that is a busy road. That road is becoming busier and busier. That's one worth widening. Oh, and you make it worse, though, by the way. The only thing that would make it worse is if it was food stamp time. Because by the NAP building yesterday, they were cutting across the street to deal with a pipeline. Could you imagine if it's also food stamp time and first days of school and the traffic jam because nobody can go on Beach Road and go? Oh my gosh. Perfect storm. George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg, they're coming here. They're going to do that story. Beaverton, Oregon, thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Dave. Great to see you. So, if that's a road, though, that they could really widen, who knows how long it would take. But if you live anywhere in that area, you are absolutely aware of what that traffic is like trying to get north on Chelo Monsignor Martinez. And if you guys don't know the name of the road, that's okay. Remember, we only got roads about like 14 years ago, and the names of them. But that's the road that's like connecting Guangdong all the way down to Shell Dandan. Yeah, that's that road. Boy, if they could make that like 2 lanes in each direction, that would be awesome. It'd be tough in Aslito in that one stretch over there by food stamps because it drops off right away. Like there's like a valley right there off the side of the road. Yeah, that'd be a little tougher to deal with. The other one is like around 5 o'clock-ish. People getting out, trying to go up through Tun Joaquin Doi. You get all the way up to Chelo Monsignor Martinez, forget it. Once you pass the NMC turnoff, you're going to be smacked with a big line of cars because nobody's good at taking a left-hand turn there when the traffic's bad. Sometimes you just got to be a little more proactive on that driving. Like, I think it's your duty as a driver to support your fellow drivers during school bus time. Yes, you have to be safe. Yes, you have to follow the speed limit. Yes, you pay attention to those flashing lights on those buses because you don't want to be that guy who hits a kid, right? That said, if you come up to a red light, you're at the front of the red light, right up there at the edge, and next to you is a school bus that's also on the red, you owe it to every other driver to go fast when that light turns green, just so as many people can get around that school bus before the flashing lights that come up at the next bus stop. Help your fellow drivers out. Then everybody else, hey, when those bus lights start coming on, do what you're supposed to do. Stop, slow down, and all that stuff. But when you're at that light, if you're just going to keep pace with that bus, oh, man, you're the worst. The worst. Hey, David, you're welcome. So you're welcome about airing the congressional debate. I hope it helped you guys. There's going to be 2 more happening that we're going to be there for. So September 17th, the Saipan Chamber of Commerce is going to hold an actual debate with the crowd and all that other stuff. All 5 of them are going to be on stage at the Multipurpose Center. Tickets are going to be $30 a piece. I think it's $30. I might be off on that. Don't hold me to that $30 thing. It might be quite a bit less. Maybe it's $10, which makes more sense. But I just don't remember the price. But it's going to be at the Multipurpose, and we are going to stream it. We're going to be there. So we are broadcasting it live, and then other people can watch it too. But that one will be good to hear people with a little bit of back and forth. Oh man, that reminds me. I saw this story. So there was a town hall meeting about the great plans. I think I took them down already. I had a slideshow here with all of these things. Oh, you know what? I did take it out. And I want to show you this again. Is this it? No, that's public lands about Managaha. You guys don't want to hear about this. But I'll tell you what. Let's open up this slideshow, but we're going to change the files. See if I can just delete all these. And we're going to add more to them. And what we're going to add to it are the pictures. No, not a directory. Listen, you guys can sit there and laugh as I fumble through this. But it's going to be the same stuff because I want to talk about this thing. And I definitely am interested in hearing what you have to say about it because we had them in studio. There's OPD in here. There we go. We had them in studio. Bam. There we go. Let's get rid of the comments one there. There we go. Okay, we had them in studio. Let's just open this up all the way. Oh, hold on. Sorry, guys. I want to make sure I get this so it looks good for you. All right. And there we go. So this is the Olei Sports Complex and Cultural Event Center. Now, this one doesn't include the stuff for the sports complex yet. Still redoing. They're only 30% through with the A&E design for it. But we've got... that looks so funny. Let me get myself out of there. But what we do have is this, and that is the Cultural Event Center. That part's pretty cool. Here. There you go. Even better. And it looks outstanding. And the location is great. Again, that's me personally, right? That's across from the courthouse and across from MHS, where they've got Civic Center. There's going to be an amphitheater. There's going to be all these kiosks. This will be the place for Flame Tree. This will be the place for Street Market. The parking's going to be great. I muted myself. How did I do that? Not exactly sure how I did all that, but somehow I did it. Anyway, so that's going to be the place for Flame Tree. That'll be the place for the street market, all kinds of things. We're going to have an actual local destination that's managed by the local folks. We're not going to have to go. And I love American Memorial Park, but now, we know that there's different restrictions and everything. So, but for here, this is going to be based on our rules, our locally mandated rules. It's going to be like a real state park. At least it's a state facility. Wholly owned and managed by the CNMI. And it's going to be in Saipan. It's going to be outstanding. They have one in Tinian, and it's great. They don't use it that much, though, because of the location. It's the one that's across kind of by the Dynasty. Yeah, over where it's not by Taga Beach, but it's really close to Taga Beach. It's that next corner down. And they don't use it as much because they use the one down by Jones Beach more than anything. But this one would be used all the time because it's got such a great spot. It's right across from the school. It's right across from the courthouse. Look at all that parking they're going to put in. And again, all those kiosks, nice walkways, just fantastic. And, you still get your Guma Sockman there. That's not going anywhere. Be nice if they could throw some money that way, though, to, make that part a little bit nicer. But at least for this, it's something. I mean, it's going to be a real great meeting place and a real park. We don't have a real park right now. Now, the sad thing is about this, you're going to end up losing the basketball court that's there. And that's a popular basketball court. You're also going to lose the Philcom Pavilion. It's a really nice pavilion that was built there. But you're going to get all those other ones, all those hardened structures that aren't going to go anywhere, all those things that are going to be storm resilient and everything. I love this thing. It's going to be great. It's going to be used so often. It's going to be a real centerpiece. So when we sit here and talk about not having attractions, not having nice places to do all these things, this is going to be that attraction. It's not the only one, but this is going to be a great meeting place for folks. It's going to be a great event location for folks. I mean, just imagine the bands playing in there. Imagine that being the Flame Tree Art Festival, where now look at that stage is in the middle of the whole thing. So you're not just all the way at the far end of it. You're going to be able to go back and forth. Excuse me. Jeez. You're going to be able to enjoy the whole thing. You're going to be able to see all the concerts, all the performances and everything like that as you're walking back and forth. There's plenty of seating areas for like people to be there. And then all those things will be like for like all those smaller kiosks, like all those smaller Pala or little oots. They're all going to be there for all the vendors. It's going to be outstanding. It absolutely is. And it's going to be a really nice spot for us. Like, that's where they should do. That's really where they should put the inauguration. I mean, look at that spot. It's so big and open. I know the multi-purpose was great. But look at it. Outstanding. So I bring that up, though. There was a public hearing. Not everybody thinks it's great. And it might be the same people that you hear complaining about stuff who don't like it. Now, to be fair, everybody has a right to their own opinion. And you don't have to dislike a person for it. Right? If it's just their opinion, it's just their opinion. That's it. But I'll tell you, does it describe the materials? I mean, those look like they're going to be concrete for those pavilions. Except for that first one doesn't look like it at all. But all the other ones look like it's that standard stuff. Maybe it's not. But all those look like they're concrete. Like the permanent kind. But again, the people who, there was a outdoor like public hearing for it, a town hall meeting they call it, and not everybody loved it. And I'm not surprised by who didn't like it. Let's put it that way. You got one person who complains about everything and one person who complains about one culture. But really, the one of the people who complained about it or who expressed their dislike for it protests for everything. Right? I mean, it's the same group of folks when they do that. You name it. And a lot of it is when they get with those activist types from Guam. They're like, I don't like this. Okay, let's do it. What else is coming up? I don't like that. All right, let's get together. We don't like this. And what ends up happening, they get like a handful of people from Saipan, but then you get all these people from Guam who go and they protest things. It's like, come on. Who are you kidding here? Don't force your protests over here. If we don't have a problem with it, what's the issue? Why is the grass on the ground? It was too hard to put it in the air. I think that's it. I think it was too hard to put the grass in the air, Ann. I don't know. There's still going to be grass on the ground. It's not like it's going to be one big parking lot. There's going to be grass everywhere. It's going to be a real legit park. So. But seriously. Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of grass. There's going to be a lot of trees. A lot of natural shade. And it's going to be right there. You get the breeze. You got the water. It's going to be nice. I love it. I love it. I'll tell you what, though. The concrete Pala Pala is going to be resilient. Going to be nice. They're probably going to be a little warmer than your traditional, like, thatch style roof that doesn't trap the heat. It doesn't like absorb the heat and radiate it back. Yet with permanent clouds for shade. There you go. And look at how its color and everything else is black and white. How about that? That's how much of an impact it's going to make. All right, now I'm giving you a whole lot of that. But the people who are complaining about it, I mean, I'm telling you, you can read it for yourself. I don't need to call them out. But it's the same cast of characters every time. Pick a cause, they're going to make it, and then they're going to end up making it the military's fault somehow. Somehow. I haven't seen it yet, but I think that's what's coming next. They're going to say it's going to be because of the military. I'm telling you. And people relatively new. Anyway. I think it's great. I don't see a single negative thing about it. Oh, the only negative thing about it is losing the basketball court. Yes. And the Philcom Pavilion, which is nice. It's going to be replaced by all those other ones. But losing that basketball court, that is a popular meeting place for sports here in Saipan. It's a great spot. There's so many leagues that play there, outdoor and all that. That's a tough loss for the community for sure. Could we build another one? Yes. Are there other ones they could use? Absolutely. But that was a great spot. It's a great spot right now. And that Philcom Pavilion was built with some love too. It's been occupied for parties and all that other stuff for so many different things. But this is the march of progress in a good way too. And it's got a cultural note to it. That's it. It's going to be for all that kind of stuff. This is a good thing. And if you don't think it is, then I'd love to hear about that too. And no, I won't shame you. I'm open to hearing all these kind of things. I want to hear your perspective about it because that's important. This is just my perspective. This is just how I think about it. I think that this is a real win for the community. It's great. It's cultural. It's a great facility because we don't really have a park. We have AMP. Oh, you're talking Tobot Castro. You're talking about the San Vicente Roundhouse. I remember that. That was great back in the day. I love that. You know what? That's a great place for them to have a real roundabout. Get rid of that traffic light over there and turn that into a roundabout. Makes perfect sense. That is that of all the places in Saipan where they could put a roundabout, that's the best place in San Vicente, where the roundhouse used to be. And you know what? Put a roundhouse in the middle of it again. That's a perfect place. I'm in. More road construction. Yes, please. Because we don't have enough road construction in Saipan. But that is a great idea. I love that idea. If they put that back, put a roundhouse over there again. That was a great meeting spot. Make that a roundabout. Make traffic flow nice and easy. It's not terrible now, but it doesn't flow. The people who are coming from the Dan Road are stuck there for a long time. You end up having a roundabout, that traffic's just going to keep on going. It's going to be great. And there is enough space over there. There's plenty. There's plenty for them to do that. Oh, man. I really love the idea of this cultural center and event center. But, you know, the one thing is I heard, and I focused on it too. It's like I have to reread things and I have to try to listen to them again to see if it's just somebody squawking. Or am I reading it and putting that in there? But no, I see the comment. This is terrible. This is the wrong place. All right, well, where's your proposal for something different? It's those people who just complain and don't have any alternate ideas. Like, the need is there. This is somebody who screams about culture all the time, about the importance of it and everything. So where's your alternative? Most of the time, it's people who are just disenfranchised. People who don't feel like their voices count. And I can appreciate that. Don't feel like your voices count. But when all you're doing is spewing negative stuff all the time, people stop listening to you. That's the hard part about it. So having, establishing a cultural center, I think is great. Another location in Saipan, that'll be great. I really do. If you don't think that's the right location, then what's your alternative? Where is a place that's okay? This is not like a federal takeover of property or anything. It is. And again, just two naysayers. Without ideas, without vision. It's hard for me to listen to. I will, and I'd like to hear the ideas, but I would really love to hear the alternative. Cagman needs one, but Cagman needs people. So Cagman has a great center over there. I really like that spot in Cagman. Where you've got like the Cagman Community Center is a great spot. I love that whole area over there is great. The basketball is awesome, and you got like a nice center to actually do stuff. Like, it's not a cultural center at all, right? But it's a nice facility and a nice location for everything. I like Cagman, but it's would people go out there? That's the thing. Like, this is the reason why I like the location that they're proposing here in Oleai is because it's also eye-catching for the tourists. It's easy for the tourists. Now, it's not just for tourists at all. Clear. Are we building this for the tourists? No. But we'll take the positive impact it's going to have on tourism by showing off, a great facility that we're going to have in a very highly visible location. That part makes sense. That makes great sense. Building something nice and tucking it away far away is not really a great idea. But doing something in Cagman does make sense, for sure. Man, and if they could put some money into Guma Sakman to make it a little bit more resilient for storms and stuff like that, give them a really cool-looking facility, too. I would love that. That thing's still going to be there, though. They're not moving it. It's still going to be there. So that's okay. But that's not the only thing going on. There's all kinds of stuff going on. I'll tell you what. We're going to take a real quick break, and then we come back. We're going to talk about all these other things that we got going on. And there's plenty of it. Oh, man. I know. Oh, should I just talk about this, too? Because, yeah. They're pretty close. But I feel like I'm just going to be compounding this negative stuff. But I'm going to talk about this other letter coming from the same kind of protester folks. The activisty types. I know. What are you doing, Brad? I'm part of that club today, I guess. Hey, good morning, Pilling. Good to see you. Vincent Raymond, good to see you too. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. All right, we are going to take a real quick break. We're going to refresh this coffee while we do it. So you guys sit tight. We'll be back, and we're going to get things going with a little fitness tip. Well, it's not a fitness tip, but it's a great opportunity for you to get into the Saipan's newest gym with the latest equipment. They've got everything going on. In fact, they're going to have special promo. Laddie Built is having a special promo where if you are a member of Laddie Built 24-Hour Fitness, you're going to get discounts at PHI Pharmacy. No joke. Another benefit of what they've got going on at Laddie Built. They've got the greatest equipment. They've got the latest equipment. They've got great facilities. It's the newest gym on Saipan. Although they have been around here for a while, this new facility that they have, they just opened up at the beginning of the year. It's the newest one that we've got out here. It looks amazing. You need to see it for yourself. They got great people and a great feel. Laddie Built, tell them we sent you.
Persistence of build, be the inspiration, they witness approve. We do what we do by the rules in the book. Be a Lottie where discipline and vision is built. We lead by example, persistence of build. Be the inspiration, they witness approve. We do what we do by the rules in the book.
It's a great day to be up 3-0. I'll tell you that. It probably is not great to be down.
I'm Brad Rosala, and I'm the owner for Commonwealth Communications.
And I am Jojo Alipuzu. I am the owner of Island Image and Ocean.
And this is our joint venture, Sideline Studios. This whole concept that we have of doing all these live stream productions and covering news and doing live shows and everything, it wouldn't happen if we didn't have a great partner like IT&E, someone who can handle the bandwidth and provide it and then get us what we need when we need it and then be a real partner for us for all the events, whether we're doing live sporting events, broadcasts. All of these things happen because of our partnership with IT&E.
With IT&E providing us with the fiber and point-to-point and even the MBRs, it's just a great piece of equipment to use when we're broadcasting our sports, our events, our performances, especially our cultural performances. And it's just great to share our culture here in the Marianas with the world. And IT&E has been there from the get-go.
The thing I like best about working with IT&E is how willing they are to come out and find a solution. Even for Liberation Day, we thought we had a pretty good solution for our live stream setup, and it turns out that we did not have the right setup that we thought we needed. That day, just before the parade, reached out to Paul and said, here's our situation. What do you think? He's like, we're gonna figure this out. While he's sitting there barbecuing, getting ready for the parade to start, he starts burning up the phone lines, calling everybody in IT&E, what can we do, what's the right solution? They left their families to do this stuff and get us the equipment that we needed to broadcast live. That's over and above. That's on a holiday. That's when he was out there spending time with his family.
That's why IT&E is just the best, just really in touch with the people and the community.
I recommend IT&E to everybody. Tell them the options are there and you can choose whoever you want and then figure out what you think is the best. But when you're ready, when you're tired of having your calls disconnected or not having service, then you reach out to the guys from IT&E.
For every generation, it has started with the call to serve. Discovering the purpose and the belonging earned with the title. Learning to dig deep and push through adversity together. Defending our nation and its people. It is a life of great worth and reward. But Marines are never really finished serving. Their commitment comes full circle, visible in communities across our country. This is Semper Fidelis, always faithful, always Marine, marking a path for the next generation.
Alpha Dade's on Tiro, and for the Saipan Paddling Club, it's time to row their boat for the 2024 Micro Cup. And you can get on board with their raffle fundraiser on Saturday, August 24th. Tickets are just $1, and the grand prize is $200. All proceeds go to get the paddlers to the Micro Cup and help get them uniforms so they represent the CNMI in style. So support your local paddlers and buy a bunch of raffle tickets for your chance to win the $200 grand prize. Just go to the Saipan Paddling Club Facebook page for more information. That's the Saipan Paddling Club raffle fundraiser on Saturday, August 24th at 3 p.m. Don't be a drip. Help with their trip. All right, welcome back, Marianas. We are here, and we are just a couple of clicks away from getting you the latest from the Associated Press, because it is here. No kidding. No cap. These updates slap. Don't get all crazy. I'm not trying to rizz you all up there. Oh, I know. Kids are going to be like, what are you doing? Don't even say the other one. I won't. I'm not that cool. I actually don't even know what a lot of those things mean, but I know what that stuff means. I got a handle on some of that stuff. And you know what? Totally, holy cow, sounding like my parents. Like, why do you guys say that? Why is that the thing? Oh my God, I don't even know where they came from. Who said it first? Who put that out into the conversations? I don't know. These things that the kids say. My wife was trying them with the kids over the weekend. It was just so funny listening to her say all these things and just watching the reactions of our kids. Mom, no. Oh, what are you doing? It's just hilarious. Hey, good morning, Louisa. Louisa, great job last night. And was it hard when you're out there to remain neutral when you see Chuck wearing the Cardinals uniform? Oh, man, it was a good game for those guys last night. I'll tell you, that's for sure. And we're looking forward to seeing what ends up happening for the rest of the playoffs. But you guys, I'll tell you, Louisa, if you don't know her, you should. She's up there every single night. There is baseball. And when we aren't there, she's still there. If we're not there and the cameras are on, that's because Louisa's out there. She puts out, not only was she doing all the stats and all that other stuff, but she fires up the computer. She gets the page ready. She posts the updates for the scores. She'll be putting the microphone outside so you get the outside, the ambient sound and all that stuff. So you guys, if you're not giving love to Louisa, then you're just not thankful for the greatness that you're getting out there, because she's really fantastic. Thanks so much, Louisa. Really keeping all that stuff in the forefront for the CNMI. And we've only got a couple of games left, really. I mean, you figure you got the Cardinals. They advanced now. They beat the Braves. So the Cardinals, in fact, I'll make a whole new sheet just for this, right? But the Cardinals and the Braves are done. So it's Cards, move on. Padres, Blue Jays tonight, and then Bandits and Sandlot on Wednesday. And then who's hanging out and waiting? Only the 9-1 Falcons. So, I mean, it's going to be a heck of a thing to see how they end up doing in the playoffs. Like, all these guys are just outstanding. And that's it. So it's a single elimination format except for the final. So you got these 6 teams are playing against each other. One of them's already down. And then you got the Padres, Blue Jays again tonight. Bandits, Sandlot are playing tomorrow, and Falcons. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 6 teams left now. There were 7, and one of them got picked off. By the end of Wednesday night, there's going to be only 4 teams left. And those teams are going to play against each other. So it's 2 more games. So we got 4 games left until the championship, which is a best of 3. It just depends who's there and who's going to play each other. And last night, the seeding was really interesting too, because it was the Cardinals and Padres. So that is the, what is that, the 3rd and 4th place team played against each other last night. So, sorry, that is not true. It was the Cardinals, who are in 4th place, playing against the Braves, who were in 6th place. So 4v6 played last night. And tonight is going to be 2 versus 7. And then tomorrow night is going to be, it was 3 versus 7. And then Wednesday night's going to be the Bandits. They're in 2nd place, going against Sandlot, who are in 5th place. So good stuff. Really good stuff out there, and it's going to be outstanding. All right, hey, what I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to get you guys the latest from Headline News, because it just came out from the Associated Press. So now you'll have the latest of what's happening in the United States and around the world from AP.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. The Democratic Convention set to open in Chicago. Sagar Magani has a look at what's ahead.
Just a few weeks ago, President Biden was expected to be the headliner. Now it's Kamala Harris's turn after he dropped out.
The party rallied around her with unprecedented speed. I've never seen anything like it.
The Brookings Institution's William Galston says Democrats have gone from despair to hope heading into the general election. But Todd Bell at George Washington University says first, Harris has a big job this week.
People still don't really know her too well.
And Galston agrees the acceptance speeches from both Harris and running mate Tim Walz are vital.
In her case, definitional, I think.
They'll have the traditional Wednesday and Thursday primetime slots. The president will speak tonight, a few days earlier than he'd originally planned. Sagar Magani, Washington.
Former President Trump's got a busy week ahead. He spoke at a campaign rally in York, Pennsylvania today.
I will stop the special interest giveaways, cut waste, and restore common sense to our government. The Republican Party is the Republican Party of common sense. That's what it is.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken says Israel has accepted a proposal to bridge differences holding up a ceasefire and hostage release in Gaza. He's calling on Hamas to accept it too. Civilians carrying small children and lugging heavy suitcases are fleeing Ukraine's eastern city of Pokrovsk in the Donetsk region. The Russian army is closing in quickly on the city of 53,000, despite Ukraine's incursion into Russia's Kursk region. And former Congressman George Santos has pleaded guilty to wire fraud and aggravated identity theft in a federal fraud case. Santos faces more than 6 years in prison under federal guidelines and also owes at least $370,000 in restitution. Sentencing set for February. This is AP News. British tech tycoon Mike Lynch is one of 6 people missing after their luxury superyacht sank during a freak storm off Sicily. Lynch sold software maker Autonomy to Hewlett-Packard in 2011 for $11 billion, but he was later accused of cooking the books to make the sale. He was acquitted of criminal fraud charges in June, but still faced damages in a civil case that HP mostly won. And Seth Sutel has the AP Markets report.
Stocks closed higher on Wall Street, pushing the market closer to the record high it set last month. The S&P 500 rose 1% Monday. That was the 8th straight gain for the index and its longest winning streak this year. The Dow rose 236 points. That's about 0.6%. The Nasdaq Composite added 1.4%. Treasury yields held steady in the bond market. That came ahead of a speech Friday from the Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. The Fed is widely expected to start cutting interest rates next month. Powell could provide the markets with guidance on how many cuts to expect and how quickly. Seth Sutel, New York.
And I'm Ben Thomas, AP News. Thanks for listening.
All right, now you're all caught up with everything that's happening in the United States and around the world thanks to the Associated Press. We bring you those updates at the top of every hour just to let you know what is going on. So you're not just focused on all the cool things that are happening here, because there's plenty of things that are happening here. No kidding. There's a lot going on in the world, and you need to know, and we want to help get you there. All right, well, speaking of things that are going on in the world, there is a move to bring some more defense to the island of Guam. That's right, missile defense. They're talking about all these possible threats coming our way. You know, we already hear about, in fact, let me move this out of the way. I could see the little, it's creeping in. Ew. There we go. Did that work? Did I actually do something there to help? We'll find it. There we go. Yeah, I had the monitor pulled in over here because I was doing some baseball stuff. Anyway, with all the stuff that's going on, they talk about the heightened tensions between different superpowers out here in our region. And we know the two that we're talking about. Talk about the U.S., talk about China and everything. And it is coming to a head, it seems like. But either way, the United States putting more defenses out here on the islands, and it makes more sense because you got 3 bases in Guam. You've got Anderson Air Force Base. You got the big Navy base. And now you have Camp Laws. So there's a whole lot of eggs in that basket, if you will. And they want to make sure that they can try to tackle any inbound bad things coming their way, whether it's planes or missiles or long-range missiles, you name it. And so they have a plan of putting more stuff there. They're even thinking about putting more things up here in different locations in the CNMI, and to head stuff off for things that might be heading to Guam or things that might end up heading toward us. You never know. I mean, like, all this stuff is all speculation, but there are some folks who have expressed their reluctance to have that happen. But that's a tough one too, because you've got people who are saying, well, what are you going to do with us? Are you going to put in some defenses for us, or is there an evacuation plan for Guam? No. The people in Guam who are talking about that, there is no evacuation for 180,000 people, period. There's not a boat. There's not anything. You're going to ride it out. Like, that's it. There's nowhere to go. That sucks, but that's it. I mean, literally, that's it. There's nowhere to go to run away. There's no evacuation plan. When I see that coming from like the community, maybe it's like the mayors or the senators in Guam or just the regular folks in the public, it definitely demonstrates the amount of fear that people would have about something like that. What happens? You know, the thing is, though, there's no help. There's nowhere to run. You're there, and that's it. I mean, like, 100%. That's it. In the event of something happening, they're not evacuating 180,000 people. That's number one. Number two, 180,000 people wouldn't want to go. That's just it. Now, if something bad happened, would they come by to help out? Absolutely. But that's it. Give us a dome, build us a dome, break me up a piece of that Kit Kat bar. Oh my God, Ann, you are hilarious. That is great. That is great. You guys, I'm telling you, making my morning every day. But so that's not going to happen. But they are looking at putting on like things. They're even talking about putting stuff up at Sabana on Rota. That was one of the conversations. You know, you've got areas in Tinian to do it. You got areas in Saipan to do it. Mostly in Saipan, it would be up north. And what they call the maneuver range up in Marpi. Yeah, it's still labeled by the military as a maneuver range up there. Up by where the cattle, you'll find the cattle over there by like the grotto at the top of the hill over there. Like, that's the area they call the maneuver range. Over like that land that's over and above by the whatchamacallit, the land that's over and above by the bomb pits and everything. Yeah, let's ask Mark to build us a bunker. I'll tell you. So that spot though, you know, no matter what, if that ended up happening, it ends up happening. I mean, we can't do anything about it. Yeah, and I know the idea of having that stuff out there is not a bad idea. I mean, at least, you know, the defensive stuff. It's not a terrible thing. But, you know, one of the things that there was an interview that Governor Leon Guerrero did, talked about like the potential of like nuclear weapons and all that other stuff. Now, that's a little bit different. Here, let's see if I can't find that up. Guerrero, New Zealand. And I just want to see if I can find the actual interview that she gave. But the main thing is that, if there's going to be nuclear weapons in Guam, that's certainly weird, the prospect of it. But it shouldn't be totally, because there's always nuclear weapons in Guam. What are you talking about, Brad? That's not true. Yeah, there are. There absolutely are nuclear weapons in Guam. Guaranteed. You don't know, you don't know. But there's all of those, and there's also nuclear power in Guam. Not for the community. Same with the weapons. But like those submarines aren't powered by diesel. Those are all nuclear powered submarines. When you see those carriers come through, those things aren't out there burning dead dinosaurs. They're out there powered by nuclear power. And now the submarines in particular, though, they've got those intercontinental ballistic missiles in there that they'll end up, those are nuclear weapons, guys. And those are nuclear reactors in each one of those subs and each one of those carriers. Those are nuclear reactors. That's just what they are. And and that's it. I mean, there's no maybe on that. But, there's some folks who are saying, again, I can't speak to her statements because I haven't seen them. But there's the same folks saying like, oh, we don't want that. Okay, I get it. Well, it's going to make us more of a target. I don't think so. I don't think that Guam would be any more of a target that they are now that they're the, I guess they're so far west, they're east as far as like bases go for the United States. Of course, Guam would be a target for something. No question about it. And if they weren't a target for some kind of a strike like that, they'd be a target for someone else to take it because of strategic importance in the region. That's just it. They're just, the good news is it's the good guys who are here instead of the bad guys. And you're wondering who the bad guys are. It's China. Yeah, it's China for sure. I mean, like those are the bad guys out here. And I'm very excited about having that discussion if anyone wants to discuss that. Anyway, Peeling says, there's no nuclear waste on Guam. The toxic waste around us are toxic pollutants that have contaminated our way of life. Corruption, greedy, money-grabbing leaders of the officials. I hear you. And I don't think there's nuclear waste on Guam either. I don't know why it would be, because it's not like there's a refueling place for those things. Like the nuclear waste would be from a reactor, or from a carrier would be from replacing the fuel from the reactor. They don't have any replacement rods just hanging out in Guam, right? That's not where it is. When they go back to the States, they go back to their main ports for all that stuff. That's where they get it. Not Guam. Guam's not the place that has it. But I hear you, Peeling, for sure. I got ceramic tint to protect us from the brightest blast. That's right, Tobot. That's right. That is awesome. Yeah, but I'll tell you, Guam would be a target no matter what. It doesn't matter. They could put everything over there. Guam's going to be a target. Does that affect us? No. I mean, yes. I mean, I just remember people of a certain age will remember how we used to get all these little things as kids growing up about like where the impact. What do you do in the event that you see a bright flash followed by a mushroom cloud? What do? Yeah, we had to do the duck and cover drills in school, the air raid stuff during the Cold War stuff. I don't know if you guys probably didn't have to do that, the duck and cover drills, where everything will be safe as long as you get underneath your desk and curl up into a little ball. You're going to be fine. That is your own personal force field, is getting under your desk. Maybe not, but maybe it would protect you from the stuff that fell. But yeah, and even as a soldier, I remember how that worked in the Army. And I could tell you that maybe not all of it was the best. So they would tell you different things. And I think it's twofold. They would tell you when you're treating different things, they'll tell you how, so people who find you later would know like what actually happened to you. Because, like if you, if you were to perform first aid on a buddy out there in the field, there's different things. So you got your field dressing, your pressure dressing, and then the tourniquet. And when you apply the tourniquet, that's when you're supposed to write on that person's forehead when you put on the tourniquet, the time and the date, right? And so they could tell, like, whoever the medical folks are out there, when they come up and see you, like, okay, they tied this thing on whenever. So they'll know, like, yeah, that one's done. But the other one is they taught us in the military that if, in the infantry, I should say, that you, if you see that flash, get down, you keep your helmet on and everything like that, you put your head down, and you kind of scrunch up, lay in a straight line facing the blast, get down like this, keep your head down, and then after you feel the blast go by, that's when you can actually do something about it. And if you have a place to shelter from that, where, like, if that blast is coming or whatever, you would get into a hole, and they say to get on your back and bring your legs up and your forearms up like that, and preferably, you're under a poncho or something. But they said to do that because the bones in your forearms and in your legs are the most resistant to, like, that kind of radiation were to happen. And then they also say to stay underneath that little tent or poncho is until you feel the fallout stop. I think it's just to say, okay, we found all these dead guys, and we know that they were killed by this stuff because of the way that they were positioned, all like cockroaches on their backs. Oh, yeah, that's bright stuff. Hey, that's the military for you, though. But that doesn't mean the military's bad. But this is what they told us. I'm just telling you, that's the kind of stuff they told us. And I mean, hey, I'll tell you, they told us about, like, for poison gas and everything like that, and it's about reacting to it. It's like, first thing is not to take a deep breath. It's to stop breathing and put on your gas mask. It's not, and then put it on. No, because it's already there. And there was also the visual cues, right? If something happens, you're supposed to, was it gas, gas, gas? Then, you close your eyes when you do that. You take out your mask, pop it on, get the seal. Then you can finally breathe. Oh, man, good times. That's 30 years ago. That stuff's still part of my mind I'll never forget. And you put on the mop gear. Was it Mission Operation Protective Posture or something like that? MOP. And different MOP levels. I think MOP level 1 is with just the gas mask. Then they got the gloves and the whole, the pants, the jacket, all that stuff. Make you sweat like crazy in there. Oh, good old times. Yay, the military. Long time ago. Well, anyway, the idea of all this, apparently Lou Leon Guerrero said something about weapons and storage and stuff like that. So I'm not sure exactly how that works. But either way, I think whatever they end up doing in Guam, I don't think this one is necessarily supposed to affect us. It says, one of my favorite scenes from Renaissance Man was the gas mask one, the double Ds. Renaissance Man, I don't know if I've seen that one. Who's in that one, Louisa? Renaissance Man. Movie, 1994. I'm sure it sounds familiar. Helping them pass basic training. Oh, I didn't see this movie with Danny DeVito. Maybe I saw part of it. Yeah. I vaguely remember this. This is about getting people to be able to pass basic training, right? Oh, man. Yeah, I'll tell you that oxygen tank will be handy for you, for sure. But let's see if I can't just find her comments on this, because I think that'll really help a lot more. Come on, Governor Lou. What you gonna do? And this is, where is that interview? So the other thing is that they end up putting out like a letter about this. It's always the same folks. These Prutahi Letetsin people, they protest everything. Like, it's hard to tell. Like, I have to read every issue really closely because whatever it is, they just want to protest it. If there's anything, they'll always make it sound like the military is bad. Like, even their group, their question in Guam had a primary for their Democrat Party for who's going to run for the delegate there. Only 2 people showed up. But one of the people who asked the question, she is a perennial protester. It's like that's her job. She's there for everything. I don't like this. The military's terrible. All that other stuff. And she'll work it into everything. Like, and she'll find a way to make that issue terrible. It was so bad. It was the worst question. It was so leading, so laced with opinion. Just like what I'm giving right now, I guess. But saying like, talking about how the military, she turned the Israel-Palestine issue into somehow Guam's issue with the military, into somehow that's like a pride thing too. Like, it has nothing to do with it. You're just riding on the back of something else to add your thing. So she's like Guam Zaji. Oh my God, I love it. Oh my God. Oh my God, that's awesome. No, I don't know. She might have a job though. I'm not sure. But that is awesome. That is great. Oh my God. That is hilarious. Like, I don't know if she has an actual job. She might. But like, she came here to, she's got that like stink face all the time when it comes to it. She might be a great person. She's friends with people that I am friends with. But she's so anti-military. She's like one of the independence people. She's one of the everything's bad people. Like, I don't like this. And like just one of those people just like to stir stuff up. Don't live here, not from here. And she'll pack up a bunch of activists to come over here and cause trouble over here. Like, that's the thing, right? That's the part that I don't like. Like, when they, like, over the past, like, few years, and actually it goes back a little bit before, I got to say, like, 5 years now, maybe, because maybe 6 years, because it goes back before the pandemic and everything. That pandemic, man, that was weird about the amount of time that goes by. Like, that's a dead zone time-wise. But where she would come over for these conferences and start a protest. And it would be all these people from Guam and like 5 people from Saipan. That's it. It's protest by association. And then to say we had a big successful protest on the road over there. It's like, no, it has nothing to do with us. Why are you bringing this mess here? It has nothing to do with it. Well, anyway, all that is to say how like she's one of the people complaining about this thing, and part of that organization complaining about this thing, about, having defensive here and all this other stuff. But again, the best thing I really want to do is have Governor Guerrero's interview on there, because I want you guys to hear it. So maybe that's what I'll end up doing today. I'll fish that thing out and find it for you. But yeah, she's part of that, man. Oh, yikes. Oh. Here's another one. Oh, man. I love this guy. I don't agree with him on so many things. I really don't. I don't agree with him on so many things. But I still love him. He's part of our community. And, if you don't love the people that you live with, that's it. It's a tough one, right? So, I do. I do like this guy. I like his energy. I never had a bad conversation with him. He's written an awful lot in the newspapers. He's got a lot of takes on a lot of things that I don't agree with. But I can always find some kind of common ground with him because I want to. I want to do that with everybody. But some of these things is interesting. Ambrose Bennett. Yes. He's an interesting cat, right? A lot of people love this guy. I love this guy. I do. I can't get with him on everything, right? I can't get with him on everything. And I could give you some examples, but like Is it worth getting into the specifics on it? I guess maybe not, but I think I'll skirt through some of those things. But I can find common ground with him on a lot of things, even though we don't agree on so many different things. Oh, I love this story. How to get back to it, like I'm not even. Anyway, he's on here, and what I appreciate is that he's got the solution for everything. All you have to do is ask him. He's got the solution for everything. And it's the CNMI that's failing because he is not the one getting the question. Hey, good morning, Miguel. Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. It's funny. And this latest one is about the Cannabis Commission. And it's a tough one, right? It is a tough one. He wants to be on the Cannabis Commission. Right? I mean, I know he's a big pot guy, but he wants to be on there. In fact, he was even appointed, but it was withdrawn because the guy's a convicted felon, right? And it's a drug offense. So that's a tough one to overcome, right? Now, I can't, like, hey, people change, and people can't be defined by one point in time in their lives. True. I believe that. There's a lot of people who have done things and who have become totally different people. Or they have changed the direction of their lives after an incident or a bad part of their lives. There's a lot to be said for that. Nobody's done forever because of one mistake that they make. They shouldn't be. At least. I want to be open to having people do different things. But to be fair, it's a tough one. It's a tough pull. I mean, if you get convicted of a drug offense, I don't think that that's the right person who should be on a drug oversight board. I mean, that's it. But it's not a drug, it's a plant. All right, fine. Right? It's already on shaky ground, right? The same thing. At the very least, you've got the federal law does not allow for people to smoke marijuana. It just doesn't. You can't smoke pot federally. It's against the law. No, but we legalize. Yeah, I get it. But it's still federally illegal. And that's why you can't have one of these pot businesses with a bank account because the banks aren't allowed to take drug money in there. But it's not. I know that conversation. I get that discussion. Cool, right? So you're still trying to gain some kind of credibility on the federal side, and it's starting to get there. I mean, there's so many different states who have decriminalized it. It's different than legalizing it, right? I mean, they've decriminalized it, meaning that the attorneys general in I forget how many states, but maybe it's almost 30 states, have said that they are not going to prosecute people for drug offenses, right? And so that's fine. And the U.S. attorney for the CNMI in Guam has said that they will not prosecute any pot offenses out here. So the DEA agents out here don't go after people selling pot and everything out here because of it. Okay, there you go. And now that we have decriminalized it in the CNMI, it's still there. But the fact remains that it's still there it's still on the federal books as a controlled substance, and it's not legal to consume or grow or possess or any of that, unless there's some kind of a medical thing for it. It's for my glaucoma. I know. But while the community is trying to gain credibility and get to a point where the United States federal government would decriminalize it officially, there's certain things in place to try to certain rules in place and stuff like that that need to be followed and all that. And having somebody who does have that conviction on there, I mean, it's not going to take the people who are the staunchest anti-pot folks. They're not going to jump in on that train and say, look, hey, you got like all these people, you got people on your board that's your commission that's got convicted of a federal offense for drug trafficking. you know? Was he? No, he wasn't like El Chapo or something like that. I mean, I read that story. I mean, I read the court case and all that other stuff. And it was like 50 years ago. It was. Things were going wild and crazy in the 70s. I can imagine strolling and shucking and jiving to the airport to pick up that suitcase that had some angel dust in it. I don't even know what angel dust is, but I just know that that was something that people did in the 70s. I know they give different names to different things, right? All right, take care. Great to see you. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tonight at the ballgame. But whatever it is, the thing is, they need to get some. They want to have respectability. They want to have some credibility, and you can't. And it makes it more difficult if you make those kind of exceptions now. I think that's it. I mean, it didn't stop him from getting other good jobs out here. It didn't stop him from being a teacher and retiring with public schools. So like that was fine. But you know, to get with the commission, I don't know. Like I can totally understand that that's the rules that are out there. I wouldn't even upset. I mean, like it's something that just kind of sticks with you, and that sucks. You know, that's it. And I don't know how much of an industry it is, but it's not my industry. Yeah, it's really not my industry. It's not my scene. Like I got so many friends who smoke. I'm just not one of them. Have I? Oh yeah, I have. I even smoked once in Saipan. One time. But I did not inhale. I inhaled. The first time, I'll tell you, I mean, I smoked. The first time I ever did was after I got out of the Army. And it was in the barracks, visiting my buddies. I couldn't believe they were smoking in the barracks. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Are you crazy? No, it's fine. I'm like, okay, well, you guys are dumbasses, but I'm out now. So, sure, I'll have one. All I remember is eating a ton of peanut butter afterwards and wanting to go to sleep. Second time was at a house party, and when I was in college. It was cool. I remember that effect too. Again, nothing crazy. I mean, like I didn't get anything cool. Like I enjoy the feeling I get after having a couple of drinks more than after smoking a little weed. It's just not my thing. And I'm not a big fan of the smell either. That's true. Yeah, I don't like it. And plus, there's other stuff. I did try one of those vape pen type, like the medical stuff, and that was rather pleasant. But I don't remember I was already drinking a bit, and it wasn't like I didn't have any discernible effect from it that I recall. Didn't make me sleepy, didn't make me exciting, not anything. Like just trying it out. I mean, like, hey, I'm an adult, I can do this kind of stuff. My brain's already beat up enough from life and from alcohol, probably, where a little extra weed probably won't do anything terrible. But still, it just wasn't for me. Like, it just was not my thing. Like, I did it, but I didn't get anything out of it. Like, some people really enjoy it or really get the effect that they get out of it. I don't know. It's not for me. I even tried one of those chewable ones, and it didn't do anything for me. But the next day, I ended up feeling like I had a hangover. Yeah, it just like dry mouth, headache, awful. Like, oh, what am I doing? Just nothing. So it's not for me. It's not my scene. So I am not on board for all this stuff because I don't think it's awesome. You know. The other thing is though, and this is just my take, guys. I'm not telling you you're wrong by doing it at all, or I'm not saying that at all that you are wrong for not having the same view that I've got on this, but I do definitely had a view on it. Like, I am not cool with thinking that smoking pot is the same as drinking beer when it comes to having kids around. I'm just not. I know that the kids see it's normalized, but drinking is in our community. But like, I don't want to normalize smoking pot for the kids, for sure. Not when their brains are still mushy, not like our old crusty brains. But like while it's still growing and everything like that, like I don't know. I don't like it. I don't want my kids to hang around with a whole bunch of people who are smoking up and stuff like that. They can do that stuff when they get older, or they can be around that stuff with their older if they choose, right? If they're if they're in college, yeah, it's gonna be there. But like if I had you over to my house and you wanted to smoke at my house, not inside, of course, but even outside, I wouldn't be cool with it. Like if you want to go walk down the street around the corner behind a coconut tree or something, you want to smoke, go for it. But like if we're sitting out in the backyard while everybody's having a few beers, listening to music, kids running around and playing, I would not be cool with you lighting up right there, smoking around with everybody, because it's just not the thing. And maybe that makes me a bad guy. I don't know. And I don't think it makes me a bad friend, but that just, yeah, everybody has their own take on how to do it with the kids, right? Not my thing. I don't hate you for smoking it. I don't think you're less of a person for smoking. It's just not my thing. It says you should try growing your own shrooms and enjoy. I've heard about that. I've never tried it. But I have definitely heard about that. And the terminology that they use, the microdosing and stuff like that. I've heard about all that stuff. Never tried it. But I have heard about it. And I do have a story from 1995. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Maybe we'll save that for next year. We'll get the 30th anniversary of that story. See if I can call my Army buddy Daryl Miller up. See if we can recount that story of that trip to Vancouver with our other buddy, Velez. Oh my God, this was after we came back from Cuba. And we were doing 3 countries in 3 days. And not like, it wasn't like a rager, like a Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas kind of thing. But just saying that it was 3 countries in 3 days because, oh, wrong one. Sorry, guys. It was 3 countries in 3 days because we went from Cuba to the U.S. And then when we got released through our quarantines from back then, we went up to Vancouver, which is only 2 hours away when we were stationed at Fort Lewis. 3 countries, 3 days, and then had a ripping weekend hanging out in Vancouver. Why would you go to Canada when you got, because I wasn't 21. And the drinking age in Canada, at least then, I don't know if it is now, it was 19. So I got to be an adult when I went to Canada. The whole time I was in the Army, I wasn't even 21. I went in when I was 17, and I got out a couple of weeks before my birthday. He says, are you going over to the Board of Election today? I wasn't. I heard the certification thing was yesterday. So I don't know what's going on today. Ray, thanks for letting us know. But what's going on at Board of Election today? I know the Commonwealth Election Commission yesterday was the certification. That's the info that I got. I got it late, but I got it. Okay. Let's see what we've got. 1 second. Got some messages coming in. Hold on. Love it. Oh, no. This is good news. All right. Good news, guys. Good news. Sorry. This is coming in. So because it's I know a little off topic here, getting back into something we've talked about before, which is baseball, Saipan Baseball League. We were talking about, the playoffs going on this week and the schedule that we've got. So tonight, again, we're going to have the Padres and Blue Jays. And on Wednesday, we're going to have the Bandits and Sandlot. So with the guys doing in the box with me, Trey Dunn and Robbie G. Robbie G's like, I can be there tonight, but he can't be there Wednesday. And Trey is like, well, he'll be there Wednesday for sure. But Mario Valentino going to make his return to the box with us on Wednesday. This going to be great. That is awesome. He is just absolutely awesome. And we can equip him with the wireless mic, go down there and talk with the teams. That's something that we didn't do. We haven't done for a while. But I love when we do it, and it absolutely works. Oh, the return of Mario. That is great news. So when you guys tune in on Wednesday night, it's going to be hopping up there in the box. No kidding. All right. Hey, I'm just looking at the clock, and I'm looking at the info that's coming in. Okay, so here's some good stuff, and I'm going to give you this now because it just happened. I've got to save it, and I'll put it in the old slideshow here for the events. Hold on, sorry. Pictures and my news service and events. There's two things that are happening. One of them starts today, and if you've got kids who are playing soccer, this is for you, especially here. Let me put this in here because soccer's, if you don't know, it's kind of a big deal out here. Let me find events and pop it in there and put it in the event slide, and then I'll pause it for you. You're like, Brad, what are you talking about? Just tell us. I will, but it's hard to do all this stuff together at the same time. Where is it? I just put it in there, open tryouts. Ooh, what did I save it as? Is that not it? No. Save as. Oh, that's why I don't have it in events. I put it under, now it will be. Does it magically appear? It magically appears. There you go. Okay. So it's going to come up here. 1, 2, 3. All right, so let's pause it on there. This is a thing for you guys. If you've got kids who play soccer and they're male and female, thanks for clearing that up, Brad. Between 2012, they were born between 2012 and 2014. They can try out for the JNA, that's the Junior National Academy. The tryouts are today, on Thursday, August 20th, 22nd, 27th, and 29th. I'll give you something bigger to look at here so you can see it just a little bit better. Let's put JNA. And let's pop that in there so you can see it nice and clear. And I'll tell you, because my daughter was in this, and it was outstanding. And if your kid just plays soccer at all, it's worth having them get out there. And let me see. It's open tryouts, but you don't need to see that as much. The real info is here. How about here? Now, I think this is going to probably do it for you. But it's an outstanding program. And so it's the Junior National Academy. This is the feeder program to like the national players and all that stuff. So they'll end up playing for the CNMI's national team if they make it, right? At least they have the potential to do it. And they're going to get great coaching, and they're going to get great equipment and all this other stuff. And my daughter ended up doing it last time. She's going to go out and try to do it again. And a lot of the people that she played with and practiced with the JNA are playing with the ladies who are in China right now playing in that EAFF tournament. And this just got to me this morning. So the training starts today. It's a tryout to get in there. So if your kids were born between 2012 and 2014, they're available to do this. Okay, so check that out. If your kids play soccer, this is a great opportunity for them. And again, those trips are free. They send your kids to go and participate in these international tournaments. And they're not sending them there raw. They're sending them there with great training leading up to it. In fact, they even had this like long weekend thing where all the kids stayed at Crown Plaza. It was like for a week. I think it was over spring break. It was outstanding. Great coaching, great fitness, and it's awesome. Real easy to get them in there. Okay, they got to be, players in a club. And if they're not on a club, you can register them. That's easy. They got to be born between 2012, 2014, and born here or have a U.S. passport. That's it. No problem. If you want to get more info on it, you can call the soccer headquarters, which is 235-0173, or you can email playsoccer@nmifa.com. It's outstanding opportunity for your kids. It is. There's another one here. Let me get this other one here because there is a program. There's a big event coming up where you can. It's the Run Saipan Marathon, and then the Saipan Half Marathon. Well, let me make sure I give you the right links to do it. I mean, you can register for all these things, but the cool one that's coming up, or the cool story that I want to tell you about, is that you're able to sign up for the 5K for free for Run Saipan. Yep, the first 50 people who sign up for Run Saipan's 5K, the only thing I need here is the date. When's the date? When's the event? Well, here we go. Let's open up Race Roster and find out where it is. It's Saturday, August 31st, Labor Day weekend. You can run the Saipan Half Marathon, 10K, 5K. It's up to you how far you want to run. But if you want to run the 5K, you could do it for free if you're one of the first 50 people to sign up. And you could do it, excuse me, you could do that right now. And there's a special code for it and everything. I'll get it for you right when I'll pop this in here. Here's the link to the race. Put this in the comment section for you. And if this doesn't get you out of bed and off the couch to do a 5K, I don't know what will. Being able to do it for free sounds like a pretty good deal. Here, let's open that up. It's a great, great, great opportunity for everyone who wants to go out there and do it. Here, come on, let's go. Yep. So it's a 5K race, and you go in there and you can register right there with the link I just gave you, and use the promo code NIAM 2024. Here, I'll put this in there too. This is the important part. There you go. It's awesome. You can do whatever distance you want, but if you want to do it for free, if you want to do the 5K for free, then you can't. Now, according to this, it sounds like don't miss out on this exciting opportunity to participate in the Run Saipan Half Marathon and 5K race for free. But I also read that it's only the 5K. But either way, it's free, and you should do it. I might end up just doing it right now. I want to do more than the 5K. So it's just a half marathon and a 5K. There's no 10K in there. I don't think, what kind of punishment would I be doing to myself to do a 5K, a half marathon right now? It would be terrible. So I won't. But I am going to sign up for the 5K right now. I'm going to do it as we speak, as myself. Where's the promo code? Let's do it. I'm going to tell you how easy it is because I'm going to walk you through it right now. I'm going to do it. I'm going to sign up right now. NIAM 2024. And here's something else that's cool too. NIAM 2024. Continue. Wait, it says the promo code has already been redeemed. What do you mean? Is that only for one person? Oh. Oh, maybe I'm not one of the first 50 people. No kidding. Did 50 people already register? That might have happened. This only hit, like the press release about it only came out this morning. Wow. I'm going to message the president himself, Ed De La Cruz. Here, trying to register for the 5K. Were all 50 slots given already? Question mark. There you go. Well, we'll find out. Oh, no. Man, I'll tell you what. While we wait for a response on that, LJ Castro is a great dude. I love that guy. He, as described as one of my friends, as a treasure for the NMI. And he sends me all kinds of stuff all the time about what's going on here. He's a supportive guy for the show and everything. But he also lets me know when notable people, things happen and all that. He says, Phil Donahue, talk show host, dead at 88. No kidding. Phil Donahue. I used to watch Phil Donahue. I should change that. My mom used to watch Phil Donahue when I was at home. I think that his show might have followed Oprah or was the lead in to Oprah. Like over the summer, if I was watching TV, those were the things that were on the TV when I was a kid. Those talk shows that my mom would watch. Not soap operas, although those were probably on there too. But that was like all those kind of things. Yep. Yeah, well, he died, and well, that's too bad. I thought he had a great talk show host, but he was really known for talking about controversial issues and having all kinds of, and not like a Jerry, what was Jerry's show? Jerry Springer? No, not like Jerry Springer, but talking with controversial figures. He had like KKK people on there, saying, you are a racist and you think people are better than other people. Why is that? Like stuff like that. The guy, he brought people on there and let those people really get exposed for the people who they were. And then, and that was it. So, so he passed away. So, God bless you, brother. He had a great delivery. I really enjoyed. I've gone back and watched some of them thanks to YouTube. Gone back and watched some of those old shows and everything like that to be able to see how that stuff used to be. And look at me rocking these glasses like Phil Donahue. But one of the coolest things he had the coolest white hair. He didn't just have gray hair. He had like the whitest white hair, like Acha Bebe. She's got the best white hair. Like anybody's got gray hair, she has the best. She does. It's flawless. It is absolutely amazing. All right. Hey, Phil? See, yep, Phil Donahue. He was a stud. All right. Well, that's just about what we got for today, I think. I mean, there's a lot of other things that we could jump on and all that. But I don't think we need to hit it too hard. I mean, there's a couple other things I really do like, though. A couple of kids came back here to school, and they hosted a free college application workshop. These are two students who are second-year students in Columbia, and they're hosting a college application workshop over the weekend at Crown Plaza, and that is awesome. They are one of them was the school's valedictorian from high school at Mount Carmel, which is pretty cool. They're both on summer break. They came back just to help out the local kids. Say, hey, we're going to help you apply for colleges. We're going to teach you how, show you how it goes. That was outstanding. Well done. All right, well, we're going to leave it at that for today. I think that's it. I was going to try to maybe stretch it out a little bit to get to the 9 o'clock hour. And if we get there, that's cool. But there's some other stuff I'd love to. I want to say thanks to you guys for watching, for sure. And telling people about the show, telling people about the news service. We are so close. Let's see if anything happened. We were so close to hitting that 5,000 follower mark. When I woke up this morning, we were about 6 shy. And let's see where we're at right now. We are 6 people away from hitting 5,000. That's our magic number. If you haven't already followed the page, please do. Again, we're only looking for 6 more to get there. And then that starts opening up new things for us with the algorithm and with the monetization and all that other stuff. And once we get there, I mean, it should take off quite a bit more too. And if you haven't already subscribed to us on YouTube, please do. NMI News 670 is our YouTube channel. We're on Instagram also, NMI News Service. We don't broadcast live on there, well, at least not yet. But we do our regular show here on Facebook, and we do it there. I'm not sure what channel you're watching on. You could be watching on the NMI News Service. You could be watching on the Good Morning Marianas channel itself, or you could be watching on the Island Image Emotion page. And all of those are great. But please make sure that you follow us over on the specifically on the NMI News Service side, so we can hit that $5,000 follower number, which is what we're really going for. So please do. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, let's just see. I just want to check to see if anybody's watching over there that I didn't say hi to. Hold on, let me turn that down. Yikes. Yeah, so that's what we got. Did you put it there? Hey, Brad, what's up with the alien being on the screen? There's no alien on the screen. You talk about the green thing up there in the corner? That's the Laddie Built logo. I did, though, in a previous episode, have an alien on the screen. And that was when we were talking about that report that came out of, was it Harvard? Talking about that aliens are among us. We definitely did the alien on the screen for that one. But the green one here, that's the Laddie Built logo. Laddie Built 24-hour fitness. All right, guys. That's what we've got for you today. We're going to be back again at